we're so excited to celebrate what's happening in the McHenry County with the environment. You know, we're doing lots of good stuff, and we just wanted all of you to hear of it. And real quick, we're not going to be introducing each of them separately. They're going to come up. They have their own cheat sheet, and they know when they're up. Duke's Alehouse and Kitchen First, Environmental Defenders, Friends of Fox River, Friends of Hackmatack, Food Shed Co-op, Land Conservancy of McHenry County, McHenry County Chapter of Citizens Climate Lobby, McHenry County College Sustainability Center, McHenry County Conservation District, McHenry County Conservation Foundation, Wildlife Preservation and Propagation Committee, and they each have 5 minutes. So this is very exciting. So we will introduce the first person, just his name. Zach, come on up.
Oh man! All right.
This is the screen. This is the screen.
That's all right. So as long as they can hear me. Well, thank you everybody so much for coming, and thank you so much for supporting Green Drinks for the past 14 years. Thank you so much for supporting Dukes for the past 15 years. You know, we wouldn't have made it without you. So I wanted to start off with that. I also want to start off with, you know, a lot of times in the environmental world is, I know all of you are in it. It's really hard to see the positive. It seems, you know, and I know for myself, and you know, trying to find places where, you know, even when we do win, it still seems like, you know, we've lost, and we've got a big uphill battle ahead of us at all times. And, you know, I don't want to start this, you know, at a sad point, but I do want to make sure that, you know, these celebrations of wins are a huge deal, and we need to grasp onto them because it keeps us positive, it keeps us going. And all of us, you know, have been doing this, you know, I know from, you know, being a very young kid and, you know, adopting wolves and endangered species and all of that. And, you know, it's always been a part of my life, and my parents instilled that, and I'm sure that you guys have instilled it in your children, and you've instilled it in yourself. So, you know, I just want to make sure that this continues, and with these wins, that does carry on, it does stay contagious, and more people, you know, will make an effort, because, you know, like Greta Thunberg says, it's not an emergency unless we treat it like one. You know, so raising the awareness and doing what we do, and fighting these little battles is extremely important, and we must continue to do that. So it's not only celebrating us, but it's celebrating all of you individually as well. So I want to make sure that I got that across right in the beginning. So thank you all of you for every little effort and every great effort that you are all doing, because our efforts alone can't do it without you. So thank you. So all right, no time for that. But anyways, Duke's Alehouse every year is busy. We do a lot every year to elevate what we're doing environmentally. Restaurants are very wasteful. So, you know, throughout this year, we've done more things with water conservation. We've done more things with our garden to make it more naturally landscaped. We did native plants in our, I don't know what you call it, like the curb area down. I'm sorry. We'll feature that later. Yeah. So, but we're always looking for what's next. And this year was a big year for us. You know, I worked with also with the Environmental Defenders, and we worked on some projects with our waste reduction action team for restaurants to do a better job with environmentalism and encourage them to do so. So we've run several events. The biggest one that we ran this year that was the most successful was getting more restaurants to compost. So we actually we started waste not compost hauling within our county which they have stuck around since we ran our pilot program back in May. We still have about 10 restaurants and businesses still using that, and it's still growing. And we're really close to getting in some of the schools, to get them to start composting as well. So I think that's one of our biggest wins this year. Another win for us, not to promote myself too much, but we opened another restaurant in Woodstock, and we're continuing on with our same philosophies at Duke's Inferno. We're a wood-fired kitchen, so we use a natural renewable resource to fuel our fires for the food that we cook. So, we are going to continue to push our efforts there to become a green certified restaurant. We won't probably be that in the first year, but we are working on certifying that restaurant as well. So I don't want to take up too much time. I want to make sure the next person has enough time. Who from the defenders? I have less than 1 minute left. All right, 30 seconds left. Holy cow. There's lots of time. Yeah. Thank you guys very much. I appreciate you all coming out to Duke's for all these years, and hopefully we will be able to celebrate again, and next year or the next 15 years, wherever it takes us. So every day, absolutely. So no. Let's not celebrate that much. Yeah, I haven't had that much to drink as a year. So thank you guys. Yeah. All right. Who's starting for the defenders?
Hello. Is this? I feel like this isn't on.
It's on.
Okay, you guys can all hear me in the back.
That doesn't work to that. You're talking to Zoom.
Oh, even better. Thank you for that clarification.
Yeah, so speak loud to the people back.
Okay. Good evening, everybody. I just want to start off by thanking the Green Drinks Committee for putting this together. I think when we're all doing this environmental work, you can kind of get discouraged, if you will. So I think it's really important for us to come together and kind of share our successes, keep that momentum going to carry us into 2024. I also planted the seed with Pat that if this goes well, I hope this is something that we can continue doing. Because like I said, I think it's really important to come together at the end of the year and kind of share what we've been working on and all the things that we've been able to accomplish. So it has been a very busy year for the defenders. Our action teams have been incredibly busy. I'm sure you guys have all accessed our recycling programs. So we have our quarterly recycling events that allow residents to drop off kind of hard to recycle items, if you will. And then we have our permanent styrofoam collection. So I am pleased to tell you guys that as of November, we have collected 87,232 cubic feet of styrofoam. Pretty amazing. And I know styrofoam is something that everybody in this room does not like, but it comes with things that we cannot avoid. So it's really nice to create that outlet for people to drop that off. And I think people and residents of McHenry County have really kind of relied on that as an access, because we are one of the only locations in the state to offer that. So through our quarterly recycling events, we've also collected about 650 fluorescent tube lights, which I think is pretty amazing.
Let me pull that out from under there.
Perfect. For multitasking here. And then also 965 pounds of alkaline or household batteries. So another thing that is a hard to recycle item. So kind of a snapshot from our recycling team. We were fortunate enough to offer 6 different what we call best management practice seminars or workshops that allows residents to get information on bringing native plants into their yard. They put one on at a school to show teachers how to kind of create an outdoor classroom, if you will. Things on energy efficiency, so rebates for residents to get kind of money back for improvements that they do on their homes, as well as ways to kind of salt smart, if you will, if we're getting ready for the winter season. So it was a nice opportunity to work with municipalities to give them that information so they can reduce the amount of salt that they're using. A really exciting feat is that we had 14 units of government sign on to the Mayor's Monarch Pledge. which is really outstanding. That's about 25% of the total awards throughout the state. So I think that's pretty incredible. I know there's a lot of people looking at McHenry County as being leaders in this, so we can all kind of share in that success. Zach did talk a little bit about our waste reduction action team with our race to reduce waste. So it was a good kind of showcase for compost piloting. We're currently working with breweries at the moment, kind of showcasing their sustainable practices. And then we're going to be moving into coffee and tea shops. So the idea is to kind of keep this idea moving forward and kind of get, you know, a highlight for these sustainable practices within our community so people know to patron those businesses. And then just to highlight our bookstores, both the Green Read and the Green Spot logged over 4,000 volunteer hours to bring you guys used books. So we are diverting material from going into a landfill and then kind of giving people a meeting place for keeping track of what the defenders are up to. And we were also pleased to surpass 5 years for the Green Spot in November. So they had their 5th birthday party. It was a fun celebration, but I'm excited for 2024 and I can't wait to come back next year and share the successes of the defenders next year. So thank you.
Okay. Oh, come on, timer. Okay, got it. Hey, I'm a friend of the Fox River, and I hope you are too. So our niche is we cover the whole watershed. It's over 200 miles long, and it's complicated because there's a lot of borders there, and not everybody likes everybody. But we work on doing events that erase the border. And we had a muscle survey this last year. The funding was separated, but the results were shared. Hackmatack goes across there as well. So these are a couple of our taglines. So trying to build this community that will put caring for the watershed as a high priority. With that, we do it mainly through education, and the we is emphasized there because we can't do this with 4 part-time, 1 full-time, 3 part-time staff members. We rely on a lot of friends. Just it's amazing how many we're connected to. Here's our new one. We've been advocates for removing the dam for 30 years, and our day has come. You'll hear about that next month. We abandoned our regular membership. So however you're a supporter of what we do, you're a friend. And so not everybody can come to a cleanup and climb down banks. Not everybody can write a check for $100. So any way that you will be a friend to the Fox River, we welcome you in. Here's a lot of words, but this is really the big info slide. So we're very proud of what we do, but we grew a lot this last year. So our main thing is getting kids in the stream or on their campus or into their classroom. There's a lot of challenges with being able to do that, but that it also is a niche we think that sets us apart. We do a lot of outreach events. I think we were at 30 different events educating the community. Throughout the year, we rolled out Jeopardy, River Jeopardy for the first time. And so this is pretty telling. So just with youth, mainly students, experience, we were at 32 different schools in 22 different municipalities this last year. And cleanups with It's Our Fox River Day, we were over 150 miles of doing cleanups. I have a slide on that, and lots of volunteering. We're an advocacy organization, but we're mainly building this community. But dam removal has been where a lot of our work has been. Every community on the riverfront wants to redevelop, so we're trying to be on the front end of that and sprawl is back. It's not residential, it's logistical, huge buildings. And so we're working on that. Takes a lot of money to do a lot of things. We did 10 fundraisers last year, and we like to have fun. We don't have a gala. We do a lot of, not that galas are bad. Jenny's in the house. So Jenny, we created a full-time position for education, and she really is making it happen. So over 5,000 students with 30 events. This was making a glacier. So we do a lot of different things. Next to getting kids in the stream is getting them on the water. And most of the kids that we deal with have never been in a canoe. I didn't realize it's a privilege now, really, to have been in a canoe. Get out of here. Oh my God. All right. That was fun. That you're going to hear about. We monitor in the environment, and we got on TV a couple times this year. And maybe I'll just stay here. We do a lot of cleanups, restoration projects. One of our biggies. Just Google it up. There was a movie made about us. It's 12 minutes long. It's really well done, and the idea is for it to be motivating. But this is an example of somebody told us, you got to have a screening. So it's like putting on a wedding in like 3 weeks. Well, we made $6,000, but like we put it on. It was a big deal. That's just how we raise funds. We have a very big reach. This is our website activity from the last year by month. Yeah, boom. So we put out a weekly newsletter and talk to you at the table.
Okay, so not to lose time while Anne's printing up my one slide, I'll just get going. So my name is Cindy Screwcrude, and I'm on the board of directors of Friends of Hackmatack National Wildlife Refuge. So I'm pleased to give you this update on the Friends activities. And I want to confess that I've been so busy, I tried to get GPT to write a 5-minute talk for me today. And while what it wrote contained probably more flowery language than you're going to get from me in this talk, my scientific mind said we needed more specifics. I did. Here's my talk with some highlights and help from ChatGPT. So, F12. Don't distract me. Community engagement is a cornerstone of the Friends activities. By fostering a sense of community around the refuge, we've encouraged local residents to take an active interest in the well-being of the refuge and lands all around it. That not only strengthens the bonds between people and nature, but also creates a network of individuals dedicated to the preservation of the globally unique landscape of northern Illinois and southern Wisconsin, where our refuge is located. That's a landscape that's even rarer than tropical rainforest. Okay, well, I'll ignore the slide. We engage the community via Friends' annual environmental educational efforts that we conduct in partnership with so many other community organizations. And thanks to all our partners in this room. Those events include our annual In Search of Eagles event on the Fox River. That's coming up next January on Saturday, January 20th. World Migratory Bird Day celebrations, the Monarch Family Fun Fest Fair that's held at the Crystal Lake Main Beach. During National Wildlife Refuge Week in October, we also hold the Big Sit Birding event at Lost Valley Visitor Center and host the Walk for the Wild 5K walk along the Prairie Trail in Richmond. And we hold quarterly gatherings for our members. This year we got them out during our summer and fall gatherings to new refuge lands. One program you'll see we're promoting, yay, and you got it up, is the Pearl initiative that was developed by our board member, Susan Sander. Pearl stands for Pocket Environments Animals Really Like. The idea is that the growing Hackmatack National Wildlife Refuge is a big pearl, but we need a string of a lot of little pearls. So any kind of habitat you make in your own yard helps wildlife too, helps monarchs, helps birds, other insects, bats, etc. We've partnered with other members of the Conservation de Conservation collaboration this year on sprucing up the 2 pollinator gardens that were established under the guidance of Small Waters Education. And we built together with the efforts of young Latinos who are part of the Youth and Family Center of McHenry County's summer daycare program. Another way we engage the Friends of Hackmatack, and basically I have kind of a summary of this information up here that for those that you who like to read while you're listening, you can take a look at that. Another way we engage our members is at our stewardship events. We hold regular work days on refuge lands and nearby sites protected by other partners like open lands and the Conservation District. This year we logged 563 volunteer hours. Plus, we still have a fun seed scattering event coming up on Sunday. So I urge you to look at our Facebook page and check out that event. And we've engaged high school students from Harvard, Alden Hebron, Richmond Burton, and Marengo High Schools at these events. We have grant support from NICOR Gas and Morton Arboretum for these projects that engage volunteers. And thanks to Nancy Williamson, we have finalized all the paperwork to begin a nearly $1 million restoration of wetlands on the Tamarack West site that borders Glacial Park to the north. Congresswoman Underwood secured the funding for our refuge. Woo-hoo! So with the addition of 3 new parcels added late in 2022, Hackmatack National Wildlife Refuge now is 536 acres. The parcels on the map here, and they're on our flyers also, marked with stars are the 3 sites that have parking lots and are open to the public. Uh-oh.
You're out of time.
Okay, visit our table to learn more.
Hi, my name is Sue Jensen, and I am the Director of Community Outreach for the Food Shed Co-op. I'm just going to say right now, I'm not a big talker, so if you want to think of questions you might have, I will probably have time at the end of my time, because I won't go a whole 5 minutes, maybe. We'll see. I thought it was very interesting to look back at some pictures, and I saw from 10 years ago, Tim Hankins and myself holding a sign up at Green Drinks saying, Food Shed Co-op, you know, become an owner. So we've been working at this for almost 10 years. I became an owner in 2014. We have so many great things to celebrate that happened just this year. So we completed a phase 2 of our community fundraising campaign to raise the money to build our store on the property that we own on Route 14 between Crystal Lake and Woodstock. So if you drive on that stretch at all, we're between the light that has the hospital and then Farm and Fleet, we're Lakeshore Drive. So that street right there, it's on the bike path as well. So next time you drive through, please take a look, because from a year ago, it was, I'm sad to say, a lot of milkweed and butterflies. But what's really cool about having the co-op, and we do have owner number 1 in the back of the room here. Scott, raise your hand. He's also on our board. There were a group of people that gathered a while ago and decided that it would be great to have a store that you could go to and buy locally grown food. So the stores that we have around here, sometimes they'll have a couple things, but if you don't get to go to the farmer's market, there's really not a place where you can just walk in and buy things that are grown by people that live near you. We're going to be focusing as much as we possibly can on local food. That will be probably 20 to 25% of what we have in our store. So that was the value that was put forth. And then we worked and worked and grew to the point where this past year we broke ground in July to build our store, and it looks like this as of like a week ago. So we also have local builders and local architects that designed the store. We want to have as much local as we can so that we're reducing the footprint of bringing food to our store. We want to be as sustainable and environmentally conscious as we can, but you know, it's all within the constraints of our budget. So while we would love to have all solar panels paying for all of our electricity, it's not realistic, but we will have solar panels. We will have car charging stations. We will have these beautiful bioswales planted with native plants, and that will be supporting pollinators in our area. Let's see what else. As far as environmental, we want to be as close to zero waste within our store as possible. So what's really cool is we're going to have a bulk section where you can bring your own containers. You don't have to bring plastic home if you don't want to. You can just get what you need and then put it in your own container to take with you after you pay for it. We are going to have a wonderful produce section, like I said, with as much local as we can. And then when things aren't perfect there, they're going to go to our juice bar or to our grab and go kitchen, which will be making soups and other wonderful delicious food that is being created in partnership with Zach of Duke's Alehouse and Kitchen, who is designing a lot of the menu items for our grab and go food. So another great collaboration there. Yay! So that will reduce how much we have to throw away. We want to not be that grocery store that has all of that waste. And then when we do have stuff that can't be used within the store, then hopefully it goes back to the farmers that we're supporting by, you know, in partnership with them, so they can use that compost for their animals or whatever. Let's see.
1 minute.
I have 1 minute left. So we are excited to say we're on target to open in April of 2024. As you can see, parking lot's poured, the lines are painted, the building is enclosed, so all of the workers can be inside getting the drywall up and getting everything ready. And we're on target. The last little bit of super exciting news I have to share is we just launched a brand new website. We had to work out some kinks. The kinks are worked out. As of today, it is all live and working. And so we want you all to go to www.foodshed.coop and check it out. And you can pick up a card on the back table. I have a few free pens. You can grab one, and little brochure, little sheet that says the benefits of ownership. We want everyone to shop at our store. You don't have to be an owner, but if you are interested, go to the website, check it out. If you have any questions, I have half a minute left. Anybody?
7 seconds.
7 seconds. Oh, I have 7 seconds. I did well.
You can break. Thank you very much.
Good to see you. Wow. So you can see we have people here that are doing it.
Oh, okay. Okay, I'm gonna hold this.
Yep, you can do
Because
whatever.
coordination of actually clipping it is too much. So just quickly, and let me just give me a moment of grace here. So 20 years ago, my husband and I were the meetup coordinators for the Howard Dean campaign. And we held monthly meetings right here in this space. So I've known this place for a long time. And I've been around for a long time. So I'm Lisa Hatterline, Land Conservancy of McHenry County. And 2023 has been an amazing year. So we had the 3rd year of the Conservation Leader Internship Program. which is a paid full-time summer internship program to train the next generation of young people to succeed in the conservation field. We've now had 16 young people go through the program, and we look forward to the next 4 or 5 individuals that'll be with us in 2024. The 275-acre Thompson Road Farm project received a state grant for nearly $200,000 to improve 5 miles of trails and provide access and amenities for the public. Work will start this winter and will continue through most of 2025. We look forward to opening the site in 2024 once the parking lot is finished. There's a story there. In an effort to ensure that the organization is sustainable in perpetuity, which means forever, we launched an ambitious membership drive to reach 1,000 member households in 2023. And even though we may not reach that goal, we learned a lot, and we'll continue the campaign in 2024. And it has been a lot of fun, actually, doing it. So, and it's one of the, and I shouldn't do this, but one of the things that I've enjoyed the most is I've had staff members say, why should people be a member? And I'm like, well, why don't you tell me? So it's sort of raised everybody's awareness and gotten everybody more comfortable talking about it. And if you're not a member, see me, and yeah, we'll take care of that. Yeah. So I did want to mention in terms of the Mayor's Monarch Pledge. So we've had a long-term relationship with the city of Woodstock. We've done management for them on their natural areas since 2006. And late last year, they donated 5 acres to us where our office is at Hennon Conservation Area. And so we've been adjusting to that this year, but they're converting 5 acres of Raintree Park with our help, to a pollinator meadow, because the mayor is so excited about the Monarch Pledge. And he's like, oh, we'll get credit for that, won't we? Yes. So, so one area of our work that I did want to talk about a little bit, that a lot of folks may not be aware of, is that we do a lot of work preserving farms and farming in McHenry County. Over half of the land in McHenry County is privately owned farmland that is actively farmed. In addition to holding conservation easements on about 600 acres of farmland, we work to promote access to farmland, offer support to beginning farmers and those who are historically underserved. We help lift up the voices of the Latino community in connection to McHenry County's agricultural landscape. We host learning circles for women farmland owners, providing a space for them to gather to share their stories and connect to resources related to implementing conservation practices on their farms. Over 50% of the farmland in the county is owned by women, and they are historically underserved by the agricultural industry. Okay. We continue to preserve farmland for farming, address barriers to land access, particularly with beginning farmers and farmers from underserved communities. We helped launch a project called Raíces Latinas, Agriculture in McHenry County, to celebrate the contributions of Latinos, working with MCC's Center for Agricultural Learning, FLAP, Mano a Mano, Illinois Migrant Council, and the County Historic Society. I'll just mention that in terms of farmland preservation, one of the challenges we faced this year, which I know this is supposed to be all celebrations, but is one of our conservation easements from 2007, 149-acre farm. The current landowner proposed to place a solar farm on 80 acres of the 149 acres, and our board did reject the amendment to that easement. We will probably end up in court over that because the solar company is in contact with our attorney. Because and I'll just say this, there's so much money for the solar industry with doing these solar facilities. And then can I just say one more thing?
Quick.
Okay. In beginning of January, just look on social media, emails. We're going to invite everybody to a really exciting, groundbreaking ceremony in Johnsburg on Dutch Creek, where Midwest Beaver Management is going to be installing water leveling devices in a 300-foot long beaver dam to reduce the flooding levels and it's going to be fun. There'll be, I promise, there'll be like bonfire, cocoa, s'mores. Yeah.
Mike is next. Go up this way, Mike. Mike, you won't make it through here. Careful, careful. I know.
Promise not
We
to,
booby trapped everything.
I promise not to break anything. Hi, if you don't know me already, my name is Mike Bueller. I'm chairman of the McHenry County Board. I'd just like to thank Pat and the Environmental Defenders for inviting me here tonight. As happens very often, I sometimes forget to put things on my calendar. I was sitting on my couch tonight and poured myself a little bourbon and decided to look at my county schedule and or not a schedule, but my emails, and I saw an email from earlier today, and I'm like, oh my God, I have somewhere to be. So nothing wrong with getting up and coming and having another bourbon while I'm here. But yeah, thank you again for the invitation. I think we're blessed in McHenry County, blessed not only for the environmental defenders, but also just really a great public awareness for the environment itself. The McHenry County Conservation District, the foundation, and all the great work that we do. I mean, we all live on this earth, and we here in McHenry County, I think that we're really a leader in the environment, and preservation of open spaces is very important to all of us, and myself included. As far as county government goes, I mean, we have great involvement from the defenders in many different areas in the county. I'm fortunate enough to have worked this summer with the Conservation District in a couple of different ways. Just to bring a public awareness to all of our open spaces, I hosted a series in the county called Hike with Mike, which I think was a great success. We had dozens of people come out over the course of the whole summer. It was only going to be for about 8 months or so, but I think we're going to do it again next year because we haven't even covered a fraction of the properties the Conservation District has. So I really enjoyed that. And being an avid hiker over the years, even before I was in office, I was always in the Conservation District properties. But every time that we had a hike this year, I learned something new. It's a big difference between hiking by yourself and then having a curated walk with experts from the Conservation District to come out and really explain to you what it is that you're looking at while you're going through the property. So I'm very fortunate to be in the position that I am and to work with these great organizations. Other ways, I mean, we have forged public and private relationships that I think are a great benefit to the county. Probably not announced yet, but I mean, we've been working on a project to bring dozens of acres to the Conservation District for the Hackmatack property that will be in perpetuity in conservation. So we've been working on that with private industry, a donation of over 6 miles of bike trails to the county from Thielen Sand and Gravel, and so that people can bike through the properties and really just enjoy the open spaces we have. So, and as far as the county goes, I mean, we're a leader, I think, in environmental initiatives, whether we're always looking for ways to more efficiently provide electricity to the county. And we've got solar panels on the administration building for years now, reducing our carbon footprint and constantly looking for ways that we can improve our operations to still be efficient and environmentally friendly. We're looking at having our fleet of county vehicles transformed to electric vehicles and charging stations at the different county buildings. So we're always looking for ways that we can make things a little bit better and preserve our environment going forward. So it's I guess that's about all I got, but I think we're very fortunate in McHenry County, and we're constantly looking for ways to improve, and I'm glad and blessed to be a part of it. So thank you.
Thank you very much for being here. Very kind.
All right.
There we are. All right. You can wear it or hold it.
How do I do it? I think if I wear it. I gotta put this. Okay, thanks. Beth Holland, representing the McHenry County chapter of Citizens Climate Lobby. And I don't have a big voice, so can you hear me in the back all right? Oh, great. Just remind me if I get quieter, please. The purpose of Citizens Climate Lobby has always been the same: to create the political will for a livable earth. Tonight, the McHenry County chapter of CCL is celebrating change. With change comes improvement and progress, we hope. In 2023, change came to CCL on a national level, to our McHenry County that affected our chapter, and to our local McHenry County chapter of CCL. The change for the national level CCL, the changes are 3 additional policy focuses. The original one is carbon fee and dividend, and they have added electrification and efficiency of buildings, healthy forests, and permitting reform. If you want to know anything about any of them, I've got more here, but I can't read it all in 5 minutes. These new policies provide us more opportunity for connections with potential members, community leaders, and our legislators. Second, the change to our county that affected our chapter was the state redistricting following the 2020 census. McHenry County went from being entirely in one U.S. legislative district, House district, to being in 5. So now we have more legislators to lobby. Then the changes to our local chapter are the work of one of our newer members. Linda Simcoe worked and is working to provide these new opportunities. She designed an internship program, presented it to the environmental clubs at MCC and Prairie Ridge High School, and she now mentors our first intern, a senior at Prairie Ridge. And with another new member, these 3 form our chapter's new Healthy Trees Task Force. Linda contacted the many organizations involved with trees in McHenry County. Planning continues for strategies helpful for our county that don't duplicate the work of others. Our chapter work consists of education and lobbying. We chose to work with 2 of the 3 new policies, the electrification and efficiency of buildings, and healthy trees, healthy forests, including urban trees. We educate through tabling, presenting, social media posts, and letters to editors. This year, we tabled a record number of times, more than once a month. In April alone, which is the month of Earth Day, we tabled 5 times. In October and November, totaled 8 times. We do write letters to the editor for publication in the public opinion sections of local newspapers. Does anyone read the Woodstock Independent? If you have, you might have seen a real sweet a letter by a new member of ours. It had to do with Evening Lullabies by Frogs. I don't know if you know that one, but okay. It was a slow year for letters to the editor this year, just that one. But on our Facebook page, Pat Lawler, with a goal of 1 a day, posted in the hundreds, with timeouts only taken for traveling. We also lobby by contacting our members of Congress with calls and emails. 1 minute. Oh, super. Supported with requests based on legislation in Congress ready for introduction. In 2023, our chapter members contacted our MOCs with 344 calls and emails asking for support on 4 climate policies. Finally, we do lobby. We meet with representatives and staff of Congress, representatives and senators and their staff. This year we met
only representatives because of legislation, and on Zoom. In June with Representative Jan Schakowsky, and in November with Representatives Bill Foster, Jan Schakowsky, Darren LaHood, and Derek Van Orden. Has anyone ever heard of him? Oh, good. That should do it. Good enough. Thank you. Oh, yeah, thank you.
Yeah. Time. All right. Here comes Kim. You'll hold it or?
Flip it on you. And I can- Where? Oh, okay. Thank you. Wow, this is incredible. I'm like so inspired by everybody. Anyway, hi, I'm Kim Hankins. I am the director of the Sustainability Center at McHenry County College. And I'm delighted to tell you about a few things that we've been up to in 2023. First, I want to focus a little bit on some of our waste reduction efforts. Some of you know we have something called the Reuse It Corner, and we repurpose office supplies and school supplies for students and staff. So in 2023 so far, we have 5,128 gently used school supplies that found new homes with 466 people, saving the college about $16,000. That's just in 1 year. So it's kind of fun. And we'll happily take your donations. So the composting, we joined, you've heard a couple of people talk about the Waste Not and the compost collector and the race to reduce waste. And we joined the MCC Cafe and the Sustainability Center joined that effort in May. And so we're really happy. We had been composting, but not getting much data from our composter. We knew it was happening, but we didn't really know how much. So we're really thrilled to be with Waste Not. They've given us some data, and since May, we've diverted 4,524 pounds of food waste, which is equivalent to not driving 4,487 miles, which I think is cool. So we're hoping really to grow that program and really attack some of the bigger events that MCC has, not just the ones that I get involved in, but some of the others too. So some of our community outreach, you guys know the Green Living Expo. Thank you to all of you who came. It was a really great year. This was our 16th year. And we had about 800 attendees with 80 plus vendors. And we are still the largest green expo in Northern Illinois. So we're really proud of that. As some of you know, we're going to take a break in 2024. There's a few other things going on next November. And so we're going to take a little break, but we'll be back. The Green Guide Recycling Directory, a lot of you know the Recycling Directory. Our 17th edition came out this April in 2023. It's been bilingual for the 5th year with over 200 listings of hard to recycle items. It generated 14 requests for presentations on recycling, including here. And the guide also always tops the top 5 highest click and download rates from a number of media sources. So in January, we're going to start with the 2024 version. So please let us know if you have any good recycling tips. MCC has a really wonderful program partnership with the McHenry County Department of Transportation and the MC Ride program. This program started earlier this year, or late last year actually, and the program provides free rides through the MC Ride program for staff and students to and from MCC when it's needed. There's a consistent number around 400 every single month that people take advantage of this program. So it's really, really wonderful. So some campus news. So we had an effort earlier this year to do some work with faculty focused on the United Nations Sustainable Development Goals. These 17 goals have those sustainability components that we know of equity, economy, and environment, and is a really good framework to help faculty infuse sustainability into the curriculum. So I've been working to determine where they exist already so I can help students go to those classes if they want them, and then to do some more. So that's ongoing. And then finally, after 5 years of begging, we have some energy management software that I'm putting into place right now for the last couple of days. And that'll measure the college's electricity, gas, waste, and water, and show impacts of upgrades and identify issues. And I can't wait to share more of that with you in the coming months. So a couple more things. As of summer 2024, the college will have 2 LEED Gold buildings. You know, we have the Liebman Science Center already. And we're currently constructing the Foglia Center for Advanced Technology and Innovation, which we finally call the Caddy Building. And that's focused, it's a 52, I can't even talk tonight. It's a big building.
which will support advanced technology and manufacturing. And here's my favorite part. So hopefully in the next month or so, we will add 8 additional electric vehicle charging stations to the college. Thank you, Jeff. Thanks, Jeff. And they will still be free for the community to use. So that will be 12 on campus. So we're really excited about that. One last thing, and then I will sit down, is we have a really nice partnership now with the Juneteenth Committee and the Sustainability Center and the rest of McHenry County College are co-sponsoring the event. And I will put this out there in January to celebrate Martin Luther King. No more time? I'm good. Excellent. Thank you. I'm good. Thank you. Thank you.
She knows better. There you go. You can hold it or you can hold it. Yeah, they got a lot of things. Good evening. My name is Elizabeth Kessler, for those that don't know who I am, and I'm the Executive Director for the McHenry County Conservation District. And I just want to say thank you to each and every one of you, all the amazing organizations that work collaboratively. McHenry County is a very special place, unlike any other in the country. To have so many individuals working towards a common cause, this makes this place special. So in 1971, the voters approved the creation of the Conservation District, and we are grateful. And right before and during COVID, we celebrated our 50th anniversary, similar to our environmental defenders that also were created us during that time, and we celebrated and such. And so one of our efforts, our 3 pillar areas that we've been focused on is, of course, preservation, education, and recreation. And we do this in order to preserve and protect our water, our wildlife, and our way of life in McHenry County. And so there's been a lot of activities that we've been focused on this particular year and through our 50 plus years that we've been created. And I'm going to let Shauna Flavel, who's our director of the McHenry County Conservation Foundation, speak to our efforts towards land preservation and the funding that we've received for restoration, because it's been pretty amazing. And we're so grateful that we have a foundation that specifically raises funds philanthropically to help us advance our mission. As they like to say, we're just a regular tomato sandwich without the club that they add to make it really rich to be able to do all the extra things that we do. But as far as the Conservation District, we have created a 5-year strategic plan. This help guides us to ensure that we're doing what we need to do. Healthy landscapes, people, and wildlife is one of our first focus areas. Visitor experience is our second, and then third is organizational excellence. And this is really important because as a unit of government, we want to be transparent, we want to be accountable, we want to be good stewards of not only the lands and the areas that we protect, but also for the financial resources that we are held accountable to do. And so we are leaders in that through all the financial awards and the innovative practices that we put into place and all the grants that we're able to bring back to the organization. A couple highlights of things this year: we've been focused on reinvesting and engaging the community as far as our recreational access. And so if you can, let me advance here. I just want to get through a couple things here. Next one. That one. One of the things that we implemented that we're really excited about, gamification. How do we get everybody outdoors? We knew with COVID that everybody loved the outdoors. They were out in our areas. They were hiking. They were experiencing. Chairman Bueller discussed about our Bueller's Day Outside, the Hike with Mike program. But we introduced this summer the Find Your Wild. And this was a way to engage the community in our activities and to visit sites. And it was amazingly popular. The statistics from this program, we had over 1,100 participants, 5,200 plus missions completed, 5,400 check-ins, and a variety of trivia questions. And we're going to be continuing this program into next year, working with the business community. I also sit on the board for Naturally McHenry County, which is our destination marketing organization. You may have heard of them, and they have really been amplifying all the great places and work that we do here in McHenry County, branding with the Economic Development Corporation in the county, and then with the work that we do so that these places can be visited, and to build that support for the economic investments so that there is support for all the restoration work that we do. Another area that we're really proud of is our commitment to diversity, equity, and inclusion. And so we've done several things over the last several years, not only in creating a diversity, equity, and inclusion committee, we've been working with the indigenous community through Trickster's Cultural Center to develop our land acknowledgement and to build programming that we can relate, and not just to do it to check, but to do it for the right reason for those, and to give grace for those that were here before us, and to respect the land and to learn, and reciprocity to give forth. That's been one. We've been working for the Cycling Without Age to provide access for those that are unable to get on our trails, and that's been a very successful program to engage. We've also then purchased accessibility mats, working with individuals that may be wheelchair bound or whatever, so they can participate in our programs, such as tree plantings when we do our Big Woods program, so that they too have access to the outdoors. Some of the grants and opportunities that you're going to see coming forth, the Hollows Conservation Area, which is one of our most popular sites outside of Glacial Park, which everybody knows, that iconic area. We are redeveloping to have an accessible ADA boat launch, so individuals can transfer themselves and be able to get out and enjoy the experience. Whether they have someone there with them, they can do it independently. And so that provides and removes those barriers from access. So a lot of great things are happening at the Conservation District as far as the, let me go back here, the numbers, just with the acres preserved, the site visits, all of the seeds collected, the volunteer support. Those are always areas that are really important to us. And engaging the community partnerships, I would say, is one of those areas that we hold true, and we thank you for engaging with us, that we can assist with federal agencies, with state agencies, with local NGOs, non-for-profits. We're here to support, and through together, we're to advance the work that we all do together to make this a better place. So we thank you on that front. The Trust for Public Land has been working with the district, and we're continuing to look at our conservation financing as we go forward into the future so that we can continue to do what we do. So there'll be more exciting things to happen in the upcoming year. So stay tuned in, we'll connect with you. But again, thank you for all that you do. And thank you, environmental defenders, for giving this opportunity.
Thank you. So everybody, Elizabeth kind of introduced me before I got up here, but if you didn't catch it, I'm Shauna Flavelle. I'm the executive director of the McHenry County Conservation Foundation. I have to open up my notes real fast here. We're a 501c3 that supports the work of the Conservation District. You've heard a lot about partnerships today, and really, like, the environmental challenges we're facing right now aren't possible unless we partner. Nothing's going to be solved with one entity or person alone, and so it's really vital for all of us to come together and support the work that needs to be done. And so the foundation specifically partners with the district, but as you'll hear, we partner with a lot of other entities that have been here and others who couldn't be. In 2023, we had a lot of success stories. The first one, we acquired 120 acres of land in 2020 that used to be known as Camp Lakota, a Boy Scout camp in Woodstock. And we partnered with the McHenry County Audubon to build on restoration work on that site. We planted over 300 native trees and shrubs with support from the McHenry County Audubon out there. And I'm going to bring you back there at the end of my tales here, so keep that in mind. Boger Bog, which is a site in Bull Valley, we supported the engineering work that's necessary to restore a rare graminoid fen on that site. And our hope is that we will be able to support the full restoration of that graminoid fen. Wetlands, as many of you know, are critical, especially for us in McHenry County, because we rely so deeply on our aquifers for 100% of our water here. We supported a mussel survey, mussel reintroduction, which also came with a mussel survey on the Nippersink Creek. There are currently over 3,000 native mussels sitting at the Friends of the DuPage County Forest Preserve District. They've been propagated specifically to be reintroduced into the Nippersink Creek. And as part of that project, we had volunteers go out and survey the mussels that currently exist in the Nippersink. With a grant from the Illinois Clean Energy Community Foundation that the district received, we provided match to acquire over 40 acres of Dutch Creek headwater land just outside of McHenry. That also included a private donation from a private landowner. So again, partnerships, right? We supported Youth and Family Center, not-for-profit that the Land Conservancy mentioned working with as well. They came out to district property over the summer for 5 different opportunities, and we funded their transportation costs. We also have supported the first of 2 camping trips that are taking place. The first happened in October. We had about 7 families come out and camp overnight at the Hollows. We had trail cleanups on the Prairie Trail just outside of Algonquin. Corporate work days where corporations came out and helped give back to our community. We hosted, that's all we hosted. We did, however, start work on over 100 acres of restoration at Glacial Park as part of a grant that we received in conjunction with the state of Wisconsin. We are going to be restoring wetland, woodland, and prairie habitat all at Glacial Park, thanks to that funding. And back to Camp Lakota, I promised that we'd get back to where we started. In conjunction with the Chicago Regional Trees Initiative, we are currently working on finalizing a carbon sequestration project on those 120 acres that will allow us to acquire carbon credits that we can then sell, hopefully to a local business, to offset their carbon emissions into the environment. And we are also on the verge next week, we're going to close on 40 acres that are adjacent to that 120 acres. So that'll be 160 acres that by 2025 will be transferring to the McHenry County Conservation District. And those acres will be protected in perpetuity for your benefit as members of the public here in McHenry County. So we're super excited about everything that we did in 2023. We're super excited about the partnerships that we've had with so many entities. That CSWIG grant that I mentioned, 100 acres at Glacial Park. It's going to be in conjunction with the work that Friends of Hackmatack are doing with their Lauren Underwood funding. And I just think it's really important to remember that all of us here make a really deep impact when it comes to our involvement with any of the entities that have been here today. And we appreciate you so deeply, just as much as we appreciate one another. So thank you, environmental defenders, for having us here. I really hope that we get to do this again next year.
How do I do this now? Hi, I'm Nancy Gonzi-York with the Wildflower. Well, I can. While you're doing that, I'll talk. I'm Nancy Gonzi-York with the Wildflower Preservation and Propagation Committee of McHenry County. I first want to thank Anne and Leslie and Nancy and Pat and everybody who works, and Zach and everybody who works on Green Drinks, because this has been such a wonderful place for us all to connect for the last 15 years and know, yes, we're tree hugging wackos and we all love each other, right? Yes. So the Wildflower Preservation and Propagation Committee, our focus is, we have the Conservation District that does the big lands with the public money. And then we have the Land Conservancy with Lisa, who's amazing, who helps landowners to dedicate their properties. And then we help all those people that have their tracts of land and they need help. How do we manage our land? How do we plant on our own little tract of land? Whether it's very small, like a postage stamp city lot, or maybe a bigger piece of land where they're doing a little more restoration. And that's what we do. And we do it with native plants. So why do we use native plants? Which is the button up there? They don't use pesticides. Oop, we're not going anywhere there. We're having technological deficiencies here. They don't use pesticides, herbicides. We don't need to water. So they are resilient and they're beautiful. So that's why we like to use native plants. Oh, there we go. Yeah, see, there you go. No water. We also are filtering that storm water and cleaning it before it goes into the ground, because do we all know all our potable water that we need to use for drinking and bathing and everything comes from the ground in McHenry County. We do not have Lake Michigan water, so we need to get that water back in the ground so we can use it, right? The space bar, this one? There. This is the key to native plants. Look at these roots. This is turf grass, and these are native plants. Those roots help to make the ground more accepting to water. They help to fertilize the ground. This is what we need for our McHenry County landscapes. Our program accomplishments. Okay. Every year we have a natural landscaping seminar at the college. We serve between 250 and 300 patrons. We bring in amazing speakers from all over the country and beyond. This is our new lineup for this year, 2024, our Pearl anniversary. 30 years of natural landscaping seminars, and this is a homage to one of our founding people, Pearl Olson. So we will have Neil DeBall, Managing Invasives, Stephanie Otto. If you haven't read her column in the Herald, it's amazing. She's going to talk about cicadas, because remember, 2024 is a cicada year, so get ready for that, right? Trisha Bethke from the Morton Arboretum talking about tree diseases, and we will have a program on landscape design. We're still working on that one. We also, whoops, it went backwards. Whoop. Native plant sale, May 5th at the college. It's always the first Sunday of the month. We provide the best quantities, varieties, and all the experts to serve you. So come early. It starts at noon. We get all of our plants from either vendors or we dig them from our own yards. We never dig from the wild. Reasonable pricing. Last year, we delivered over 8,000 plants to the community through our plant sale program. A natural garden in your yard. If you want to go native and you don't know how to do it, we have a mentoring program. We match up our mentors, our seasoned mentors, with our novices. We give you consultation and support. You get to pre-order your plants with a discount. Woo. And last year we served 15. This year we have 16. We also have a co-mentoring program so that if you want to become a mentor, we pair you up with a seasoned mentor to help you to learn the skills. Oh, here's some mentoring. Whoops. Oh, it went backwards again. Oh my gosh. Sorry, do I get a little discount on my time? Yes. This just gives you an idea of a mentor's yard, how beautiful it became. There we go. Nope. Okay. Oh, deep knee bends. Outdoor classroom grants. We give outdoor classroom grants to McHenry County schools. Last year, we served 3 schools with 966 plants. We help them to plan their gardens, and there are those cute little kids planting plants. I'll tell you, one of the cool things is I came to drink green drinks one night, and a bunch of the Cary Grove Environmental Club kids were here, and one of them said, I know you. You're the reason I'm in the environmental club. I planted plants with you in middle school. It's just like, it's so great, right? So that's our outdoor classroom program. We give up to 400 plants to a school every year so that they can have an outdoor classroom. Walks on the Wild Side. We do walks every month. They're free. It's a guided tour of somebody's natural yard. May through September, and there's experts on hand to give you advice. There are people walking. There are people enjoying the birds and talking. Crystal Lake Rain Gardens, everybody, we need stewards. Crystal Lake is so forward thinking with their projects. They are buying up tracts of land and raising houses that they purchased legally and creating rain gardens to help mitigate flooding around Crystal Lake. Here we are with the engineer, Kevin. We're planting our rain garden. You can see the rocks are slowing the water. You can't tell that this is a slope, but it is. This is high and this is low, but you know, and we've got a demo garden over here and we've got a little depression here. So we're doing demo gardens around Crystal Lake. We have several different features around Crystal Lake. We have a bioswale on Brink Street. We have the rain garden at City Hall in Oral, Crystal Lake. We can't. Obsessed. A new project, Pearls, pocket environments that animals really like. You've heard this before. So we're finding little pocket environments around town. And Zach had a very unfortunate, tragic garden in back. If you come in the back door, that little triangle there in the parking lot, it's covered in weeds. It was so sad. He had a dude that was going to plant it. And I said to Zach, this is not going well. What can we do? What can I do to help you? And he let me come in. And I learned very quickly that I just had to figure out what to do. So now I'm part of Duke's staff. I go down in the basement. I grab the hoses from the back room down there in the bowels of the building. I haul them up. I water. I plant. And we've cleaned up the garden. And look at this. If you build it, they will come, right? We cleaned up the garden. A lot of water. It was a drought year. And all of a sudden, the plants that were there were few, but there were plants. They started blooming. And the new ones we had in there created a nice habitat. And all of a sudden, we started getting critters. So now we do have our pocket environment that animals really like at Duke's. And we will continue to work on Duke's. And it will be so beautiful. So when you come in the back door and check it out. These are just pictures. Oops. Hold on. Just to kind of show you how things evolve. There's a little rain garden. Look at that, first year. And there you go. That's us. You can find us at thewppc.org. We're always looking for volunteers. We're always looking for people who want to get involved and go a little native in their yard. Thank you. Thank you to everybody at Green Drinks, and especially thank you to Zach for hosting for all these years. It's so fabulous, and for the yummy food tonight. Thanks. And if you're all eating, go for the pierogies. They are like the most amazing thing. It's like crack. It is. There you go. There you go. Here you go.
Right. A big thank you to everybody who has come and spoken this evening and presented, right? Yeah, this is great. Lots of wonderful things happening here in McHenry County. We have a little bit of time. We always like to end with community announcements. So if you have something that's appropriate for us to hear about and announce, you get 1 minute. Anne's got the timer again.